Hey guys, it's Mel. Today I'm going to show you my take on chicken parmesan. It is the easiest thing ever, so come on and join me. Alright, so our ingredients for today, here are just some chicken tenders. You can use chicken breasts or whatever boneless, skinless chicken you have. I like these because they cook up nice and fast, and I like the smaller pieces. This is kind of the secret ingredient for today. It's a creamy Italian salad dressing. And you can also use Parmesan creamy salad dressing as well. Then we're going to use some panko breadcrumbs. And we're going to season that with some Italian seasonings and some salt, garlic. We have some just pasta sauce here. You can use whatever is your favorite marinara or pasta sauce. Along with some fettuccine noodles and some freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Along with some of the bottled Parmesan cheese, shaker cheese. And we also have some parsley and basil as well. So those are going to be our ingredients for today. So in order to bread our chicken, I went ahead and put a cup or a cup and a half of the panko breadcrumbs in one bowl, and then about a quarter of a cup of the creamy Italian salad dressing in another bowl. And then our seasoning mixture for the panko is going to be 3 tablespoons of the shaker Parmesan cheese, and then 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper and oregano, and about 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic as well. I'll put all of that down in the description below. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that to the panko, and then we're just going to mix that up in a moment. So I'm just adding 1 tablespoon of the Parmesan cheese right to the salad dressing as well. And you know, the reason that I'm using the shaker cheese instead of the fresh Parmesan that we have is I think it blends really well with the panko, and it's actually a better way to coat I think the chicken than if we were to use the fresh Parmesan, just because the fresh Parmesan will kind of be stringy and melty, and this just kind of blends right in with the panko. Alright, so I've got that all stirred up. Just gonna stir the Parmesan into the dressing, and then we're going to be ready to bread our chicken. So you're just going to take one of your chicken tenders, and I'm just going to dip it in the salad dressing, get it nice and coated. And then I'm just going to dip it in the panko and Parmesan mixture. Make sure it's nice and coated. So I think this is a lot easier than doing flour and then egg and then some form of breadcrumb. I think the salad dressing is just a really nice shortcut, and I also like how easily this panko or whatever you're using sticks to it. So then once I'm done, I just put it on the paper plate, and I'm just going to do that for all of my chicken. Alright guys, so I've got all of my chicken tenders coated, and I'm just going to stick them in the fridge for about 10 minutes while we start the noodles. So I'm going to start with a cup of water. I put about half the box of my fettuccine noodles in the pressure cooker. And so there's a cup of water, and I'm just going to see, because what I want is I just want the water to cover the noodles. I don't want too much more than that. Alright, so 1.25 cups probably would have done it. And then I'm just going to put 1 tablespoon or 1 capful of canola oil. Have to do that when we're making the noodles in the pressure cooker, because otherwise they will stick together. And then I just want to give it a good stir to get that oil incorporated into the water. Alright. Alright, now we can set the timer and the pressure.
So I've never actually done fettuccine noodles in the pressure cooker before, so it's going to be a first for both of us. So all I'm going to do is go ahead and hit my soup stew button so I can adjust the time. And I'm going to set my pressure cooker for 7 minutes. So this goes all the way up to 90 minutes. And so I just have to go around. So I'm going to do 7 minutes, and then it's going to do the 00, so it's going to be coming up to pressure. And once it comes up to pressure, then it's going to start counting down the 7 minutes. So while we're cooking the noodles, we can go ahead and cook our chicken. And you guessed it, I'm going to be using the air fryer to go ahead and cook my chicken. I can cook these in 10 minutes in the air fryer, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill up my basket with my chicken, and then we'll set it. Alright guys, so I've got all my chicken in my basket here. With the air fryer, I want to try to do as much of a single layer as possible so that they can get crispy. So I'm just going to go ahead and insert the basket, set my time or my temperature for 350, and I'm probably going to play around with that a little bit as we go, but I'm going to go ahead and set the timer for 10 minutes and see where we go from there. And we're almost at the halfway point here, but my chicken's getting nice and brown. And all I'm going to do to help that browning process a little bit is I'm just going to spray it with some avocado spray. And put it back in. Alright, here is my chicken. It's sizzling and crispy. It looks delicious. I'm just going to check it with a meat thermometer to make sure that it's done. Alright, we are done. And you can just hear that crispiness and feel it. So I'm really excited about how these turned out. So I'm just going to let those rest for a moment, and we're going to check on our noodles. Alright, so 7 minutes with fettuccine does cook it pretty al dente, so they do have still a little bit of a bite to them, but they are cooked. And then we also have quite a few of them stuck together, but because of the oil that I put in there when I cooked them, really all I have to do is just kind of stir them and they're breaking up nicely. So I would definitely do this again in the pressure cooker. I might even do 8 minutes and a little bit more oil so that they don't stick, but it's really not too big of a deal. Alright, so while this is still on the keep warm setting, I'm just going to go ahead and add a cup, I'll do half a cup of my marinara sauce. And I'm just going to stir that into the noodles here. And that's the nice thing about the pressure cooker is on that keep warm setting, and these noodles are so hot, it's really going to heat my sauce, and I won't have to dirty another dish just to heat up sauce. And if it's not hot enough, I can always put it on the saute function as well. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and put some Parmesan cheese on our chicken and let it melt. And I'm just going to take my Parmesan cheese and I'm just going to sprinkle it right onto the hot chicken. inside the air fryer here. Just do however much you want. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stick it right back in the air fryer just for 2 to 3 minutes to get that cheese melted. Next to my noodles and my pasta sauce, I'm going to add some fresh basil here. I usually would have some from my garden, but I didn't plant my garden in time this year. And then I found these really nifty, it's a blade and a little cutting board just at the store. I had to have it because I have a really small space to cook in, so this makes things really easy. I can just kind of use it like scissors almost, and then it can just cut and go right in. So that's another really easy thing that I like to do. So I've got that basil there, and then I'm just going to add some of this parsley. Just however much you guys want to taste. I like a lot of, you know, of the good tasting herbs here, so I'm just going to put quite a bit in. And then I'm just going to stir that all together. Give it some color and a little bit more flavor. Alright guys, here's our finished product. Doesn't that look delicious? The crispiness of the chicken and our delicious Parmesan. Alright, let's taste it. Oh, that chicken is so crispy. I love it. And, well, I'll get some noodles too here. The chicken is so crispy and so flavorful. And one thing that I really like is it's not that you really can taste any of the dressing that we dipped it in. It just gives it a little bit more juiciness to and a little bit more flavor. And all those fresh herbs that I put inside of the noodles and sauce just taste delicious. Alright guys, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Parmesan cheese right to the dressing mixture. Now,